why you don't feel like yourself anymore, and how to get back. There's a moment in life where you look in the mirror and think, I don't even feel like me anymore. Not broken, not failing, just disconnected. And if you've ever felt that way, I want you to hear this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. You're in a transition you were never taught how to navigate. I want to start with a personal story. A few years ago, I had this stretch where everything in my life looked fine on paper, but internally, I was drifting. My routines were off, my motivation felt unpredictable. I'd sit down to work or even work out and think, why is this harder than it used to be? And I brushed it off at first. Told myself I was busy, tired, stretched thin, the normal stuff. But deep down, I knew the truth. I didn't feel like me, not the way I used to at least. And here's the part we don't talk about enough. As adults, we do change. Life changes. Our adult roles change. And for most of us, our responsibilities definitely change. But the identity we operate from, the one that we built in our 20s or 30s, that thing usually does not change with us. So what happens? Well, we keep trying to perform with an outdated version of ourselves. We're running new software on an old hardware. So when many people say, I don't feel like myself anymore, what I was really saying, and what a lot of people end up really describing, is an identity that hasn't caught up with their actual present life. So let me also layer in some science here, because this feeling is not random. Harvard psychologist William James wrote that identity is the organizing principle of behavior. In simple terms, what it means is that your habits, your energy, your decisions, they all orbit around who you believe you are. Modern neuroscience backs this up too. Identity lives in what researchers call predictive coding. Your brain consistently tries to predict the quote-unquote type of person you are and then match your behavior to that prediction. So when life changes, but your internal identity doesn't, your brain is running a script that no longer fits your circumstances. This is why so many people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and even beyond say things like, I feel off, or I don't feel motivated anymore. I know what to do, I just don't do it. It's not that me, you, or anybody is lacking discipline or that we're lazy. We're not broken. What we really are is we're mismatched. Identity drift is actually documented in NIH research as one of the biggest psychological stressors in midlife transitions. Not the workload, not the responsibilities, but the lack of clarity around who you've become. And if you're anything like the people I've coached, or even what I was going through, you have been operating at 50, 70% of your potential. Not because you don't care, but because you're trying to be the older version of you, the one who had fewer responsibilities, more bandwidth, a different body, a different season or transition of life. But here's the truth. Every transition, every season requires a new self-concept. You evolved, but your identity didn't get the memo. So you've been saying things like, I don't feel like myself, or I miss the old me, or why is everything harder now? Just know that you're not alone. You're not behind, and you're not doing life wrong. You're in a transition that nobody taught you how to navigate. Let me give you the framework that I use not only with myself, but also with my coaching clients now. It's called the Identity Recalibration Loop, and it has 3 pieces. 1, micro-identity awareness. Ask yourself, who am I becoming? And who am I still pretending to be? Most people hold on to the outdated version because it's familiar, even if it's exhausting. 2, identity signals. These are the smallest, quickest actions that tell your brain, this is who we are now. Not massive goals, not 90-day plans, just small daily signals. Research from BJ Fogg at Stanford shows that tiny behaviors done consistently reshape self-concepts faster than big goals. You don't build identity through intensity, you build it through repetition. And number 3, the identity anchor. This is your sentence, your operating system, your new baseline. Something like, I'm someone who takes care of my future self. Or try saying, I'm someone who keeps promises to myself. When you anchor your identity, your habits finally have somewhere to land. Now, I've watched a client of mine go through this exact process. He was 52, he was successful, he was respected, but he felt completely disconnected from himself. He came to me one day and said, I don't know what happened. I used to feel driven. Now I feel like a spectator in my own life. Now, we didn't start with just workouts. We didn't start with just productivity hacks. We started by asking questions regarding his identity. And something happened. He rebuilt 3 major things. 1, who he believed he was. 2, how he talked to himself. And 3, the small actions that reinforced it. Now, within 8 weeks, he wasn't just more consistent, he felt like he came back home to himself. He didn't become a new person, he became a truer one. And if you're listening to this thinking, yeah, that sounds like me, then just know, this is the most human thing in the world. You didn't lose yourself, you just outgrew the old version and don't know how to change. You don't need to become the old you. You're not supposed to. You're evolving into something bigger and better. The goal isn't to rewind. The goal is to realign, to update the internal version of yourself so you can move through life with clarity, confidence, and direction again. Now, if this message hit home today, or you're in a spot where you're rebuilding yourself, or you're trying to get back to feeling connected, consistent, and grounded again, stick around. Subscribe to the channel, because this is the work we're going to do. We're going to help build up that longevity mindset to your personal identity and to a life you can fully show up for day in and day out. And just so you know, I'm not here to try and sell you anything. My hope is that these videos help you feel that aha moment, that yes, he gets it, and I want to listen. And yup, that's exactly how I'm feeling. And honestly, I hope you can enjoy these. So really, the best thing you could ever do is simply subscribe to the channel or drop a comment below. Or you could do both. It all helps. That's it. I really want these conversations to be the place you come back to when you need clarity, direction, or a reminder of who and what you are looking to do within your life. Oh wait, one last thing. If you know someone who might need this message today, on top of yourself, share the video with them. You truly never know whose life it might shift. Because honestly, anyone's next chapter can start with just one word, one sentence, and maybe just this one video. Take care.